Hi guys, I'm Pavan Bisamala and in this video we're going to talk about one such important topic which is personal branding. Personal branding and its elements and how is personal branding useful and what all you have to do to build a proper personal brand for yourself or for your company. So let's move on without wasting any second and make sure you guys subscribe to my channel, and if you are new, make sure you share it with your friends and also follow me on Instagram and LinkedIn for more value and more interesting content like these. So let's start with the first one. What is personal branding? Personal branding is creating an identity or a personal brand or a personal identity for yourself or for your company, right? So by this, what do I mean? That is creating a value or an identity for yourself. Let's take an example of Virat Kohli. Okay, Virat Kohli is a cricketer, right? Everybody all around the world know Virat Kohli as a cricketer, right? So that's a brand for himself. He's a brand, he's an influencer, he's a brand ambassador for many companies and startups, right? How did this happen? How did Virat Kohli make it for himself, right? Have you ever wondered that? It's so crazy because he has more than 250 million followers on Instagram and he's one of the most followed celebrity all around the world, right? How did Cristiano Ronaldo do it? He's the most followed celebrity on social media. How did he do it? How did Lionel Messi do it? How did Virat Kohli do it? These guys set an example, and a huge example, for what personal branding is all about. They are inspiration to many people all around the world, and they have created themselves and they are portraying themselves in such a way that whatever they say or whatever small thing they do, that becomes a highlight. I've recently seen Virat Kohli running like this in the ground when he was a water boy in a match recently, and that became a sensation all around India. He was just carrying a bag and just running. That became a sensation, right? So whatever small thing you do, that becomes a sensation if you're a global star and if you have a proper personal brand. These three people, Lionel Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo, Virat Kohli, are an exceptional case, because everybody cannot be like them, right? Nobody can be like them. If you're exceptional in your particular field, if you're very talented, and if you are something different from others in your field, then you would be different from others, and also you would have another level of personal brand while compared to your peers or your rivals or your neighbors, whoever it may be. So moving on to the reasons to build a proper personal brand. Why do you have to build a personal brand, right? Let's move on to number one. It makes you stand out from the crowd. As I've taken the example of Virat Kohli, Cristiano Ronaldo, Lionel Messi, right? There are many people competing with these guys, and also, as you guys know, Lionel Messi and Ronaldo are being compared from the last 15 years, right? Since when they started to play, they go well with each other, right? They go opposite. There are many people who also have debates on who's better, Cristiano or Lionel Messi, but both have the right influence and the right personal brand as they do, right? So it is very important to create a proper personal brand for yourself, whether you're an influencer, whether you're a sportsman, or whether you're a business owner or whoever you are. Okay, it is a very important thing to create a personal brand or have a personal brand for yourself or for your company. Let's take an example of myself. I'm Pavan Bisamala. I'm the founder of so and so company, which is Elite Spark Bridge Private Limited. We are a digital marketing agency, and people know me as a founder of digital marketing agency called Elite Spark Bridge, because we have few clients who are working with us and they know that Pavan Bisamala is the founder of this particular startup, and he also is into content creation. He has recently started content creation on YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, or whatever you can call it, as X or something like that. So people know me, right? People are starting to know me. Many people will be knowing me if my content journey, by God's grace, goes very great, and I tend to inspire many different people all around India and all around the world if possible. So that is what my aim is. So that is what everybody has to do, irrespective of whatever field you are in. Personal branding is not only restricted, mind you, restricted to one particular domain. It is open to everybody and everybody. out there and also in various different domains. Now let's take another example. Suppose there is one person named Ram, okay? As I mentioned in my previous videos, the same example, okay? So there is one person named Ram and he is doing a job in, let's say, TCS or Accenture, okay? So now if he's doing that job there, he's a person, okay? Let's say he's working as an associate there, okay? So what will people know him as? Associate at TCS, right? That's an identity for himself. That's a personal identity for himself. That can be a personal brand for himself too, okay? That can be a personal brand for himself because he has worked hard to get that job, and also he's known by this particular tagline or this particular name, that as an associate at TCS. Got my point, right? It is not restricted to any particular domain, right? So that's what I'm trying to make. That's what the main point is about personal branding. Many people have this myth saying personal branding is only for business owners, only for influencers, only for sportsmen and all these celebrities. But no, it's for everybody. Everybody has a unique identity, right? So everyone has a unique identity. So everyone has a proper personal brand which they need to build. So moving on to the second reason to build a personal brand. It leads to opportunities, many different opportunities. As I said, I've took an example of Cristiano Ronaldo, Virat Kohli and Lionel Messi. They have built a personal brand for themselves, and irrespective of their, suppose, see, they are sportsmen, right? They Lionel Messi and Cristiano Ronaldo, they play football, Virat Kohli plays cricket, right? Everyone knows this. But because they have a proper personal brand for themselves and they can also influence anybody who's their follower or admirer or who idolizes them all around the world, they are able to crack high paying deals or getting high brand sponsorship deals from many top companies all over the world. This is an opportunity for them. When they were growing at their growing stage, Cristiano Ronaldo, Lionel Messi, Virat Kohli, whenever they were growing, they were only focusing on their game. They didn't focus to build something and get few brands and something like that. They just focused on what they had to do, right? And then when they did it perfectly and executed everything well, this is when brands will start approaching them, right? This is when brands have started approaching them, and now they're the globally known stars all around the world. So whenever a person is starting out on personal branding, or whenever a person is looking out to build a personal brand, someday or some or the other day, suppose I'm building content, I started content creation, right? I'm building my own personal brand, right? So as I'm doing this now, brands may not approach me right now, but brands might approach me when I get to a particular stage. Suppose if I have 100k followers on YouTube, brands may approach me for this particular price or whatever it might be, for this particular product or whatever it might be, right? So whatever you want to do, whenever you want to do, however you want to do, just do it, focus on it, and that will lead to an opportunity somewhere around the corner. So moving on to number 3 on why you should build a personal brand. Audience will trust you more because you're on the space and everybody knows you, who you are. As I took an example of Ram, knowing him as an associate at TCS. If everybody knows you on how you are and whatever you're doing, on that tagline, on whatever you're doing or whatever your job is or wherever you are, if people know you, then your audience or whoever it is will trust you more. Saying, suppose if I'm a content creator, I'm a business owner. If people are looking at my content and if they like it, for suppose, and if they are looking at my reels, if they are looking at my company's profile, if they are looking at my profile, what I do at my company and everything, they'll have more trust on me because I'm into content, right? And suppose if it grows, the trust will also increase on me, right? Because I'm reaching wider audience and audience trust will also exponentially increase, right? So I hope you got my point on these 3 reasons on why you should build a personal brand for yourself or for your company. There are 4 P's of personal branding. Number 1, perfection. Perfection, by this I mean that you have to do everything perfectly and precisely on whatever you're doing. Suppose you're creating content. If you're creating content, you should be perfect, right? You should be perfect in whatever you're doing, in whatever ways you're doing it, right? So if you're not perfect, and if you're not giving your your whole potential in what you're doing, it doesn't make sense of you doing some or the other thing, right? Whatever it might be, not only content, some or the other thing. If you're not doing it perfectly, it doesn't make sense, because if you're doing it perfectly, then only you'll achieve the right results for your personal branding or whatever it might be in life. Number 2, passion. Passion is very important on whatever you're doing. As I said, Virat Kohli, Cristiano Ronaldo, that sport or whatever it was is a passion and was a passion for themselves from childhood, right? So whatever they did, whatever they were passionate about, that has become a very good personal brand all around the world for themselves, right? So whatever they do, whatever small thing they do, as I said, that will influence and also inspire many people all around the world. Number 3, proactivity. You shouldn't limit yourself, and you shouldn't think that if I do this, I should do it till this level only. You should think you should go above your limits. You should not limit yourself to one such small thing or one small step, or in whatever you are doing or in whatever domain you are. You should not limit yourself, and you should be proactive. Number 4, perseverance. This is the most important, because you might fail, you might face difficulties while you're doing or while on your journey, right? But you should never give up despite of whatever happens, how many failures. If you're failing 110 times, you try on the 111th time. There is an interview of Elon Musk where the interviewer asks him, do you ever give up? He says never. That's how a mindset of anybody should be like in life, because each and everyone will face failures or difficulties in whatever domain we are in, but we should have perseverance and we shouldn't give up no matter what. So I hope you guys have understood something from this video, and you guys will do a lot of research and build your potential personal brand. And I hope each point what I have mentioned in this video has inspired and got into your mind and tuned your brain to build a proper personal brand. Follow me on Instagram and LinkedIn for more content and more value, and also subscribe to my channel for more content like these.